The Spirit's Book, containing the principles of the Spiritist doctrine, concerning the immortality of the soul, the nature of spirits and their relationships with humankind, moral laws, the present life, the future life, and the destiny of humanity, according to the teachings given by highly evolved spirits through several mediums, received and coordinated. By Allan Kardec. Part 2. The Spirit World, or the World of Spirits. Chapter 2. The Incarnation of Spirits. The purpose of incarnation.
What is the purpose of the incarnation of spirits?
God imposes incarnation for the purpose of leading spirits to perfection. For some, it is an expiation; for others, a mission. However, in order to reach this perfection, they must undergo all the vicissitudes of corporeal existence. Therein lies their expiation.
Incarnation has a further objective, which is to place spirits in situations where they can do their share in the work of creation. To this end, on each world they clothe themselves with an instrument that is in harmony with the essential matter of that world, so that they may use that instrument to carry out the orders of God. In this way, they contribute to the general work and progress at the same time.
Is incarnation necessary for spirits who have followed the path of the good from the beginning?
All are created simple and ignorant, gaining instruction through the struggles and tribulations of corporeal life. Since God is just, God would not make some blissful without their having deserved it through hardship and work.
But then what benefit is there for spirits to follow the path of the good if it does not exempt them from the hardships of corporeal life?
They reach the goal more quickly. Moreover, the hardships of life are often consequences of a spirit's imperfections. The more purified it becomes, the fewer torments it will have to suffer. Spirits who are not envious, jealous, greedy, or ambitious will not have to endure the torments that result from such defects.
The soul.
What is the soul?
An incarnate spirit,
What was the soul before its union with a body?
a spirit.
Are souls and spirits therefore one and the same thing?
Yes, souls are no more than spirits. Before uniting with a body, the soul is one of the intelligent beings who populate the invisible world, and it later temporarily assumes a physical envelope in order to purify and enlighten itself.
Do human beings possess something else besides a soul and body?
The link that unites the soul and the body,
What is the nature of this link?
it is semi-material, i.e. halfway between the nature of the spirit and that of the body. These two natures needed in order to communicate with each other. It is through this link that the spirit acts upon matter, and vice versa.
Is the soul independent of the vital principle?
The body itself is no more than an envelope, as we have repeatedly stated.
Can the body exist without the soul?
Yes, nevertheless, when the body dies, the soul abandons it. Previous to birth, there is no decisive union between the soul and body. After this union is established, however, only the death of the body can cut the bonds between the two, enabling the soul to leave. Organic life may animate a body that has no soul, but the soul cannot inhabit a body that has no soul.
What would our body be if it did not have a soul?
A mass of flesh without intelligence, anything you might want to call it except a human being.
Can the same spirit incarnate into two different bodies at the same time?
No, the spirit is indivisible and cannot animate two different beings at the same time.
What about the opinion of those who regard the soul as being the principle of material life?
It doesn't concern us, since it is only a matter of words. Start by trying to understand each other.
But certain spirits and certain philosophers before them have defined the soul as being an animic spark that has emanated from the great whole. Why the contradiction?
There is no contradiction. Everything depends on the meaning of the words. Why don't you have one word for each thing?
What about the theory that the soul is subdivided into as many parts as there are muscles, thus presiding over each of the bodhi's functions?
That will also depend on the meaning attributed to the word soul. This definition is correct if by it we mean the vital fluid, but it is incorrect if we mean the incarnate spirit. We have already stated that the spirit is indivisible. It transmits movement to the organs through the intermediary fluid without dividing itself up.
Nevertheless, there are spirits who have given this definition.
Ignorant spirits may take the effect for the cause.
Is there anything correct in the opinion of those who think the soul is outside the body and surrounds it?
The soul is not fully enclosed in the body like a caged bird. Rather, it radiates and manifests outside of it, like a light shining from a glass globe or a sound vibrating out from a sonorous center. So, in a certain sense, it may be said that it is outside the body. It is not an envelope of the body, however. The soul has two envelopes. The first is light and subtle, which we call the perispirit. The other is dense, material, and heavy, which is the body. The soul is the center of these two envelopes, like a nut in its shell, as we have already said.
What about another theory holding that a child's soul continues to complete itself during each stage of life?
The spirit is only one, as whole in the child as it is in the adult. As instruments of the soul's manifestation, only the bodily organs develop and complete themselves. This is one more theory that takes the effect for the cause.
Then what is to be understood by the world soul?
The world soul is the universal principle of life and intelligence from which individualities are born, but frequently those who use this expression do not understand it. The word soul is so flexible that everyone interprets it according to their own imaginings. At times, it has even been held that the earth itself has a soul, but by this, we must understand it to mean the assembly of devoted spirits who direct your actions in the right direction when you listen to them, and who are, in a way, the lieutenants of God on your globe.
Why have so many ancient and modern philosophers discussed psychological science for so long without arriving at the truth?
These individuals were and are the precursors of the eternal spiritist doctrine and have prepared the way for it. Being human and therefore subject to error, they have mistaken their own ideas for the light. These same errors, however, have served to bring the truth to light through the pros and cons of their doctrines. By the way, a comparative study would enable you to understand that in the midst of error, there is great truth.
Does the soul have a defined and circumscribed seat within the body?
No, although it resides more particularly in the head among great geniuses and all those who think much, and in the heart of those who feel much, who dedicate all their actions to humankind.
What should we think about the opinion of those who place the soul in some vital center?
One could say that the spirit more specially inhabits such a part of your organism, since all the sensations converge on that point. But to place it in what may be considered as the center of vitality would be to confuse it with the vital fluid or principle. Nevertheless, one could say that the seat of the soul may be more particularly found in the organs that serve for manifesting the intellectual and moral qualities.
Materialism.
Why are anatomists, physiologists, and, in general, most of those who delve into the natural sciences frequently led into materialism?
Physiologists judge everything by what they see because of pride. Humans imagine they know everything and cannot admit that something could possibly be beyond their understanding. Their own science thus makes them presumptuous. They think nature can hide nothing from them.
Isn't it odd that materialism is a consequence of studies that should, on the contrary, show humankind the superiority of the intelligence governing the world? Should we therefore conclude that such studies are dangerous?
It is not true that materialism is a consequence of such studies. Rather, it is people who draw a false conclusion from them, for they can abuse even the very best of everything. Moreover, Nothingness troubles them more than they would have you believe, and those who are loudest are almost always more boastful than brave. Most of them are materialists because they have nothing available to fill the void of the abyss that has opened before them. However, throw them a life preserver and they will eagerly grab onto it.